by birth, by passion, by design, by profession. I love it. HR is full of attractions. It's about humans. How passionately do you do your work? There has to be liking, passion, and commitment towards whatever you do. My definition is if I am happy with what I am doing, whether it is youth empowerment, women empowerment, HR, anything, all these initiatives that I am associated with. If today I am happy, I am successful. If you take care of your people will take care of your customers. So you are the people function person. Keep that in mind. For me, HR is my life.
I am your host Gaurav Garg and we welcome all our viewers to our show Amazing Mentor. Today with us is Ms. Shika. She is currently working as Head Talent Acquisition at Winwire Technologies, Bangalore. She is an HR leader with 18 years of rich and diverse work experience in the areas of talent acquisition, HR journalist, learning and development, organizational development, employee engagement, and HR business partner functions. She holds number of appointments. She is president of Karnataka Human Resource Council at WICCI, Head Talent Hub and Women in Tech India Chapter Head Karnataka for Women Power, executive member at the Global EduLeader organizations, to name few. She is founder member of NGO known as Support Saturdays. It's a pleasure to welcome Ms. Shika on our show Amazing Mentor. Welcome, Shika.
Thank you very much, Gaurav, for that lovely introduction. It's a pleasure to be on Amazing Mentors.
It's my pleasure. Tell us about your childhood and memories you still remember from your childhood.
Something which is very close to my heart. It's been an amazing journey, childhood, Gaurav, if you ask me. Left India when I was too little, maybe 7 or 8 months of age. Traveled for about 24 years, all my life, and that's when my parents decided to come back to India. So we did America, New York, Europe, Africa, and then last 15 years in Mauritius. So it's been an amazing journey, visiting different places, getting to know different people, cultures, lifestyle, diversity. It's beautiful. I speak a couple of languages as well, and I have many multinational foreigner friends. But then the only thing is, those days we did not have Facebook or WhatsApp and stuff like that. I mean, about 12-15 years back. So trying to get in touch with people now, I've been able to trace some I have still not been able to trace. But it's been a wonderful childhood, so enriching. I think anybody who would dream of, right? And I love traveling. I think it comes naturally since that age. Yes, I mean, everything has been so memorable. You know so many languages, you've seen diversity, you've experienced different cultures, and I have friends all over the world, so it feels good. Studied in Cambridge Board, which is one of the most prestigious boards. I think I have it all. I don't know which memory I should pinpoint, but yes, I have it all.
So any particular memory which straight away comes to your mind when you think about your childhood?
Very exciting whenever dad would say, okay, let's pack, it's time to go to some other country, or let's go for a holiday. So say for example, we were in Mauritius, we decided to do a short trip to Europe, or we were in Europe, we decided to do a short trip to Dubai. So travel excites me. I mean, I love seeing new places and that whole experience, right? I was talking to another friend the other day and she said, kya hai? Traveling is so boring. It's so lazy to pack and all that. I said, with us, we used to get very excited. Chalo, let's pack, explore a different country, a different geography, and take those pictures. Those days, Gaurav, we did not have camera phones. वो सब तो होता ही नहीं था. But then, you had cameras, so come back with a lot of memories, and it's beautiful. I think traveling is what always fascinated me.
Tell us about your educational background and higher education.
9th or 10th standard onwards has been in Mauritius. That was Cambridge Board. I went on to do my graduation from the University of Mauritius. Then I pursued my MBA from AIMAC. And then my first job also was with NIIT Mauritius. right? NIIT, which is large in India, has franchisees abroad, and that was my first job. Worked there for 2 years, and it's always close to heart, right? First salary, first job, that first experience. 23-year-old kid who just started working, and because I knew the French language, it was a dual role. So I was HR trainee, come counselor. Right, I used to sell these NIIT courses in French language to the local population, student population. होते थे ना वो GNIIT, DNIIT, PNIT, and all of that. So that was my first job. And during my education, I was the only Indian, right, in my entire class, whether it was school or college. And we had French, we had Britishers, we had Mauritians, people from all different geographies, countries, but I was the only Indian. So I kind of stood out, right? एक ही Indian है हमारे पूरे. It was a batch of 40-50 people. Education was good. Whatever you see in Kuch Kuch Hota Hai movie, right? All those places, that's exactly Mauritius. My classroom, my volleyball court, my swimming pool. So it's brilliant to live those memories. That's why, again, that movie is close to heart because it depicts my own childhood in a lot of places.
What was your dream profession to be?
Like I know, parents know you the best. You would know your children the best, and that applies for everyone. So my parents always used to say, "Boss, maths nahi hoga aapse. You just cannot do. You're so poor at finance or mathematics." And I had to really study hard. People used to get 98 or 100 in mathematics, and I was like, 80-85 bhi aa jaye to I'm okay. I should be okay because I didn't like that subject. So, my parents said, maths, accounts, finance is not your cup of tea. And I used to read a lot. I loved networking, talking to people, learning different languages. So then they said either HR or marketing. That is what you should grow up to do. And then during, I think, my 11th or 12th standard, I started reading a little bit of HR. It started exciting me. Okay, ye bhi hota hai. This is also a part of a little bit of marketing and all that. And graduation anyway gives you a deeper perspective, right, as to what subjects you want to study. So for me, my parents were that anchor saying that this is your personality, this is what you like, this is what you should do. And they directed me to HR. And I'm so happy. So HR, by birth, by passion, by design, by profession, I love it. So that's what I am.
Any school or college memory, notorious memory that you would like to share?
And this is very weird. So Mauritius as a country was colonized by the French, but then they have a lot of Indian population, right? A lot of them. And the whole country is a Shah Rukh Khan fan and Kajol fan, and they watch a lot of Bollywood and stuff like that. So they actually never played Holi with water. And this abhi ek Indian aa gayi unki class. Guys, Holi is meant to be enjoyed with water. That year, and I was a member of the student union in my college, in my university. Said, okay, student union has said, pani se Holi khelenge. The whole campus was colored with water and colors and all that. And then I was summoned in the registrar's office to say, what have you done? He said, sir, this is how you enjoy the festival. That is the beauty of the festival. And everybody loved it. Of course, next day we had to help the housekeeping staff to remove those stains because it was given to us as a punishment. Abhi you have ganda kiya hai to clean karo usko baith ke. But then, yes, and whatever little popularity I had during college, I became superly popular, over popular, saying that, okay, this Indian girl has done this. I won't forget. This was late 90s. And most of my friends still remember, the way we played Holi then, we haven't played Holi like that again. Of course, now they have more evolved. But then that time, yes, you couldn't do all that at the university. And I actually did it. Daant bhi padi thi. It's okay. All part of the game.
Who was your inspiration in your early childhood?
Dad. Just one word. I mean, such an accomplished man. First of all, we've seen him doing a lot of things. He was a dean at IIT BHU when I was just born, is what I'm told. And then he got a foreign assignment and he's a PhD. So it's like this. For me, my father is so-called Amitabh Bachchan, right? Even if I become Abhishek Bachchan, I'll be happy. So, he's at that height in terms of qualification. He's a gold medalist. He's a DO pass out. He has so much of international exposure. And he's been working for the last, 30, 40 years. And he continues to. And when we came back to India, he joined the IIMs. He was at IIM Lucknow as a decision science group head. He recently retired. Now he's with Jaipuria Business School. People cannot sit quiet, right? People who want to work. So for me, actually not only me, my brother, lot of our cousins saying that banna hai to inki tarah banna, in terms of, and such a humble, down-to-earth man, Gaurav. I mean, I'm not saying this because he's my father. A lot of my friends or my brother's friends used to come home, uncle ye samjha do, uncle ye padha do. And since then he's been doing that, all his life. He continues to do it today as well. Now he's hitting 70s. Whoever wants help, MBA guidance chahiye, coaching chahiye, whatever you need. I think I always wanted to become like him. Even if I become 1% of my father, I'll be happy. So it's him. He's my hero. He's my role model. He's my inspiration. And he said, girl, you should go to HR. You'll be a good fit over there.
Where did you start your career journey from?
Mauritius, NIIT. That was my first job. And then, yes, I did that for 2 years. And then we decided to come back to India. My grandparents were aging, right? And my parents always wanted to come back. My brother and I were given options. Do you want to settle abroad? या हमारे साथ चलना है and all that. We said, आपके साथ चलना है. None of us are settling abroad. जहाँ आप, वहाँ हम. Wherever you are, we are. So all of us came back to India. I got married and moved to Bangalore. And that's when I started with Oracle again. And Oracle, then Tally, and then On Mobile Global Limited, Wipro and Winwire. So that's been the last few years of my career. But yeah, NIIT, like I said, was my first job. Always close to my heart.
So what all challenges did you face while starting your career journey?
I did not know anything. Kuch nahi aata tha. You're this raw trainee who's just finished MBA, just got her degree or whatever, her marks card, and she's gone for an interview and she probably doesn't even know what to say. You read a lot, right? Books mein, online. And 17, 18 years back, Gaurav, there was only so much information available on the internet. Today's generation is blessed. I'm telling you, the B-schoolers are blessed. There are coaches, there are mentors, there is so much of information on the internet. How to groom, what are the interviewing tips, how do you crack a job, that time I had nothing. We had our parents to guide us, what you should say, how you should say, and then went for the interview. Luckily got the job as well. Our parents only taught us two things. One, just be honest, genuine. You are who you are, and never fear to say no. If you don't know, you don't know. But always show the ability or the capability to learn. So challenges were, start, first day. And of course, all of us I knew how to type. I was a laptop person. So typing was not a challenge. When you're given a manual to read, this is how you run HR. You're supposed to be hiring people. You're supposed to be onboarding people. Because it was a small center, so I was one-stop shop, counseling students on these GNIT, NIT courses. That too in French. That was an exciting experience, because you can speak the language so fluently, and you had to get the student to register for the course, and he would eventually register after talking to his parents and so on and so forth. Then started how to hire, how to onboard, how to create an employee file. That very first job, kuch aata jata hai nahi, but you're learning everything. And my boss was a very supportive person, but I had that zeal. You won't believe, Gaurav, my first job, I used to spend about 11, 12 hours in the office, learning, doing things. He would finally come back and say, please, ghar jao abhi, enough, we'll do it tomorrow. I said, no, let me complete this, let me complete that. So I think whether you know the job or you don't know the job, first job, give it your all. That is your learning ground. That was my learning ground. I learned most of my HR over there. And 2 years when my parents decided to come back to India, including me, the whole office was crying, saying that why are you going? It's been such an amazing journey. and I did travel about 4 years back to Mauritius, and I met all those people who worked with me in my first job, and it was amazing to see them. They're like, "Hey, you're back." I said, "Yeah, I'm here for a vacation," but to learn everything. Dedication, commitment is very important. You have to be willing to learn. You have to do extra hours. You have to probably do all of that because you have to learn. Right? Nobody's going to sit and teach you. And I used to go home late. I don't sleep early even then. Right? I used to Google for information. Kaise karte hain? How do you do things and all that. So yes.
So apart from your father suggesting you to join HR, what's that one thing that attracts you to join HR?
It deals with people. It is all about people, right? The entire employee life cycle, right? From hiring people to mentoring to engaging them to training them, processing their payroll. That's what you read in HR books, no? That age when I was just about 18, right? I said, this is an interesting function. It's all about people, and I connect to them. I relate with them. I like talking to people or networking with people. And anyway, I was learning French and talking to a lot of people in French to practice a lot of stuff. So I said, okay, let's join HR and see how it is compared to doing finance, which is Excel sheets. I'm sure a lot of people love finance, and finance guys are also paid very well. But yeah, I'm not the Excel sheet type who will do numbers and all that. I'm the people's person. So let me do HR. So yeah, that's what excited me.
So in your 18 plus years of experience, what was the funniest problem that any employees have approached you with?
So I was hiring somebody. This person was based out of North Bangalore, and the job opportunity was in South Bangalore. He asked me, this candidate asked me, "Will you pay me relocation charges?" I said, "Hello, from North Bangalore to South Bangalore, we pay relocation if you are moving cities, right? If I'm hiring you from Delhi to Bangalore or Pune to Bangalore, or if I am hiring you for an on-site position." I said, no, it's going to be too far because I have to shift my house, I'll have to shift children's school, my wife will have to look for another job. It's like, dude, listen, I am not adopting you. I am hiring you for a role. So I will pay you the best salary that I can offer you for this role, but I'm not giving you relocation from North Bangalore to South Bangalore. Isn't it amazing? I mean, you have such candidates also these days. That was the funniest thing I came across.
What is your roles and responsibility as head talent acquisition at WinWire Technologies Bangalore?
Hiring. Hiring people across Microsoft technologies, across different levels, across different locations, right? And apart from hiring, we also have to make sure we do the right kind of candidate engagement initiatives so that people end up joining, right? Giving them a good feel of the organization, right? So it's all about hiring, right from junior to mid-management to CXO level roles. That's what I do. Positioning the company in the right manner, right? And today everything is virtual, Gaurav. I mean, God, are those days when we used to do face-to-face interview. So it's become a different challenge, not channel. Doing video calls and hiring people. But then yeah, that's what I'm primarily responsible for.
So you have been actively involved in campus hiring across premium schools and colleges for last 18 plus years. What changes do you see in current technology savvy students and students at your time when technology was not or was just entering the system?
I think campus hiring also has been evolving, right? Earlier, if I remember, say probably a decade back, the focus was more on, okay, this college, this tier category, this tier category. Today, I think corporates are more flexible in giving opportunity to candidates, right? In terms of, yeah, so I will pick only creme de la creme, and that is what is good for my organization. I think today that education, that knowledge, or that flexibility is higher compared to what it was. Corporates are willing to give a shot to the candidate or willing to give a chance to the candidate, saying that, okay, let's see how he does. Anyway, the education background is clean, the scholastics are clean, right? So I think that is what has changed. Secondly, the kind of jobs, the whole gig economy culture, right? Gig workers, students, millennials, right? Who across the country, right, are also willing to explore different level of assignments. Today, picking up candidates from campus into a full-time job is not the only option. You pick up candidates from a campus, right? You can position them across multiple roles. It could be interventions, it could be some freelancing assignments, it could be a full-time role, it could be a role which is across multiple projects, right? So that fungibility of the talent and the opportunities that the campus guys have today are much higher, is what I feel in the last so many years, right? And corporates are willing to place their bets with, earlier it used to be only tier 1 is what I remember. Today, tier 2 colleges, right, are getting a lot of weightage, right? And if you notice, a lot of tier 2 college students are doing extremely well. But then the whole thing is, the campus hiring thing got disrupted because we were all of a sudden stuck by COVID. Now things are coming back on track. But yes, technology has been a great enabler in these times, right? Most of the hiring is happening virtually. I have group discussions which are happening virtually. I think if it was not for technology, we couldn't have been able to hire candidates from campus. I think, yeah, those are a couple of changes that I noticed in the last few years.
So you hold number of appointments. You are president of Karnataka Human Resources Council at WICC, head talent hub with Women in Tech India chapter head Karnataka for Women Power, executive member at the Global Edu Leader organization, to name a few. Where do you get so much of time and energy to manage all these appointments?
I myself sometimes don't know how to find time, but I think these things are not driven by time, brother. These things are driven by pure play passion. If you want to do it, you will do it. So for me, I squeeze on my sleep. If I used to sleep for 7 hours, maybe I sleep for 5 hours because I have to give time and attention and whatever commitment, right, to whatever initiatives I'm part of. Weekends, most of my weekends, I spend time in all these initiatives. It feels good. It feels good to help a youth. It feels good to help a woman. It feels good to do these initiatives, right, and make some contribution towards the society. It is all about giving back. कहाँ लेके जाएंगे इतना knowledge, इतना experience, इतना expertise? Unless we give it back to the society, right? Help somebody, enable somebody, help somebody grow. That feeling of satisfaction is very different. It is very different. And I think, again, going back to what I said, I think it comes from parents. I see my dad, my mom doing it for so many people, different societies, different forums, different student community. So when you have parents who are willing to do so much, at least you can do a little bit of it.
So you are a founding member of Support Saturday. Tell us about your initiative and work Support Saturday does.
Oh, Support Saturday is a beautiful initiative. Support Saturday aims at giving jobs to job seekers who were laid off in COVID, or people who were laid off in COVID. We started last year in August 2020, right? And then we formed a crack team of 25 people. Today, Support Saturday is 70 plus strong. All of us on a Saturday, which is today, right, get together, share CVs of job seekers on our LinkedIn network, right? So that, and it's a ripple effect. All 70 of us sharing CVs on LinkedIn of the job seekers, right, creates that many ripples on the social media, right? They get visibility. We help them try and get them through some interviews, some opportunities. It feels good again, if you're able to help somebody, enable somebody, right? If thanks to me somebody is getting a job, nothing like it. If it's not in my organization, in whichever organization, but I have been a catalyst in helping him get somewhere. So that's what Support Saturday does.
So what was the most challenging phase of your life?
Professionally, I think not for me. personally in my profession, but for a lot of those people who lost their jobs, right? People in my own circle, friend circle, HR fraternity, neighborhood, I saw many people lose their jobs. So that was a very painful moment for me, right? And whatever I could do in my professional capacities through, I work with a lot of partners, vendors. I have a lot of agencies working with me in my current organization, circulating CVs, passing on those, job seeker details to consultants, to whoever, to friends. I think that is what caused me a lot of pain, and that's where I tried to help. And I'm still doing it. Because when this happened, Gaurav, last year, nobody was prepared for it. Right? We were all, what next? Right? People went into depression. People did not know what to do with their life. It was a very heartbreaking experience for a lot of people. And these layoffs were not based on performance. Anybody and everybody got laid off. Some of the best people that I know in my circle got laid off. So that was a very painful experience for me. It didn't happen to me, but it happened to people in my network. So my only intention was, and most of them are placed, so I'm happy. It's been more than a year, but most of them are placed. So I think if I have done one noble deed in my entire life, or the biggest noble deed in my entire life, would be, helping these people find jobs. And I'm very happy about it. That is the most satisfactory feeling, which came through the most painful experience.
As per your experience, what all are attraction and distraction in the HR field?
I don't know about distractions. Okay, let me talk about distraction first. Today, a lot of us, especially people like me, who are in the talent acquisition field, have been pained, right? Candidates have multiple offers, everybody is negotiating, joining ratio kam ho gaya hai, log join nahi kar rahe, all of that. I think that's a big setback, right? Or that's a big challenge that all of us are facing. Otherwise, HR is full of attractions. It's the way you look at it. People say, boss, HR is a support function. HR is not number driven. Gone are those days. Everything today in HR is measured, right? From your hiring to your L&D to employee engagement, everything is measured. There is metrics around everything. HR is not meant to make rangolis and celebrate festivals. HR is a function which works with business hand in hand. That's why we are called partners. That's why we are called enablers. So if you are able to work at the pace at which your business is working, you will always be respected as a function. But if you're lagging behind, say your business is running at the speed of a cheetah and you're running at the speed of a dog, right? Then you won't gain that respect. You have to work with the business hand in hand, show that partnership, show that support, enable businesses to drive growth, to drive profitability, to drive revenue. I think HR is all about attraction. It's about humans. How passionately do you do your work? Right? It's all about passion. If you're committed, if you're passionate, you will like whatever you're doing. Right? You could be, you could be in the best of hotels, right? Enjoying an exotic dinner. But if you don't like where you are, or if you don't like that food that you're eating, even a 5-star or a 7-star restaurant will feel like, ye to bakwas hai. It doesn't work for me. So there has to be liking, passion, and commitment towards whatever you do. For me, HR is my life. Though I am pained today because talent attraction is a big hassle, but still, you have to keep moving in the right direction.
So if you get hold of time machine, which phase of your life would you like to roll back?
That was a very easy one. I would want to go back to my childhood, travel to all those exotic locations again, experience, because at that age, the experience was different. Today, the experience would be different. Go back, it was so much of fun, friends, food, exposure. Life was good. Job nahi thi na. You do not have target pressure, you do not have deliverables. I think school days and childhood is the best period for anybody, if you ask me. For me as well, yeah.
So what's your definition of success?
My definition is if I am happy with what I am doing, whether it is youth empowerment, women empowerment, HR, anything, all these initiatives that I am associated with, if today I am happy, I am successful. And living a life of comparison, right? She's there, he's there, my batchmate is here, I am here, doesn't make sense. No, absolutely no. If you're contented and satisfied with what you're delivering day in, day out, trust me, you're very successful. I mean, ask those people who envy you how successful you are, right? We all envy somebody, right? But I think the teachings that we've got from our parents is it is your life, it is your journey, live it the way you want it, live it at your pace. So, over the last so many years, I've just been happy with what I am doing, right? I love what I do, I love my work. So for me, sometimes work is not work, it is something that I love. So you give your 200%. So yeah, I am happy and I'm successful. I don't go by, I have to win a Padma Shri or I have to win 40 awards for me to be successful. I'm happy. And it shows. It shows, I don't know, it shows in me, it shows in my behavior, it shows in what I do. So I'm successful. People around me are happy with what I do. So I think, yeah, that's how I would measure success. I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah.
Correctly answers my question. So success is equal to happiness for you. It's as simple as that.
Well said.
So what all are do's and don'ts you would suggest while starting your career journey?
You reminded me of Three Idiots. Father बोलता है इंजीनियर बन जाओ, बेटा बोलता है मुझे फोटोग्राफर बनना है, right? And so on and so forth. So guys, whatever career you want to get into it with all your heart. It's just one life, one career. You never know next lifetime whether we'll become humans or we'll become something else, objects. You don't know. There's just one life, one birth. So whatever you want to do, first choose a career that you love, right? And if you choose something that you love, you will give 200% to it. It will align with your dreams, it will align with your passion, and it will bring you faster success compared to doing something which you don't resonate with, which you don't relate with, which is not your forte, right? So choosing the right career is important. Second, the right resources, the right infrastructure that is required, the right network, the right people, right? You have to get in touch with those, right? To make sure you are heading in the right direction. Another thing, I personally don't believe in it, but I can still give a suggestion. A lot of people have this concept of, having somebody, for me, maybe that was my parents, a coach, a guide, an anchor, who's, guiding you for the first few years of your career, what you should do, how you should model it, what kind of jobs you should apply for, right? So I think these are the things you should keep in mind while choosing a career. And also look at your personal situation. Do I fit in here, right? Does it work with my current financials? Does it work with my family setup? Or if you have to break the chains and if you want to do something, just go for it, right? So that's another thing. Don't pursue a career which you don't believe in. What will happen is after a couple of years, you will get frustrated, you will resign, you will get saturated, you will start doing something else. So there are a lot of people who shift careers, right? One could be because they wanted to, they want to explore different side of their own personality. Second, because they are frustrated with their current setup and they want to do something else. So why get into the second situation? Let's make the right choice the first time, right? In terms of, and it's not necessary. I mean, a lot of people say, what you study is what your job should be. There's no relation between the two today, right? I have friends who are graduates or who are masters in finance, but the guy is doing journalism. He's a reporter with a TV channel, right? Harsha Bhogle is a commentator, for example, right? I think he's from one of these IIMs. So what you study does not mean necessarily that becomes your job. But if you're thinking of a career in one direction, it would be wise to choose your subjects, or to choose your education in that line, so you come across as a stronger candidate. So yeah, I think those are the few tips that I would give. Choose right the first time and go confidently in the directions of your dream and live the life you have ever imagined.
So, advice you would like to give to young generation who want to start their career journey, especially in HR profession?
In HR, okay, my HR friends, my advice to you would be probably be like me. My first job took me long hours, good reading effort, good learning effort, because I was raw, had zero experience, right? So first job needs your time, commitment, learning, flexibility, whether you're joining HR or any other field. Second, it would be a good idea maybe these days to be associated with an HR mentor, right? Who can mentor you, who can guide you, or who can coach you in that direction. Third, please understand it is a people's function, right? A lot of us as HR folks are blamed, always for showing the rule book. Hi, this is the policy. I can't deviate. This is what you have to do. I think please maintain the human in human resources. Sometimes take a step back, or sometimes step into the employee's shoes to understand what the real problem is and what exception can you make. Can you do it? Give it. Sometimes, Gaurav, or maybe a lot of times, people necessarily don't need a solution. They need a person to talk to listen to them, maybe a shoulder to cry, and then they go back. Right? So be that shoulder. So keep the human alive in human resources. Right? Let's not become machines and very clinical and all that. So keep the human alive in human resources. We are a people function. I mean, if we don't hire people, develop people, train people, organizations cannot run businesses. People are assets. If you take care of your people will take care of your customers. So you are the people function person. Keep that in mind always.
So why not to join HR?
No, I think everybody should join HR. I will not say not to join HR. Anybody who's aspiring to join HR should join HR. And HR has multiple, domains or branches or sub-functions. You have compensation and benefits, you have L&D, you have recruitment, you have HR business partnering, you have organization design. There are multiple things. Once you join HR, explore a little about everything and see where your heart lies. Right?
So now we'll start a rapid round.
Rapid fire round. Okay. Celebrity वाली feeling आ रही है मुझे. Sure.
So your favorite actor and actress?
Shah Rukh Khan and Kajol, because I have seen them shooting at my own campus, University of Mauritius, for a good 3 weeks. So I'm in full awe of them.
Your favorite color?
Pink.
Your favorite destination?
Europe, Switzerland.
Your favorite brand?
Jeans, Pepe jeans. What else should I say? Watches, I don't know. Rado at times. Yep.
Your favorite car?
Mercedes.
Things in your wish list?
Maybe another 3-4 destinations that I want to travel to. One is Australia. I have not seen Australia. Second is Egypt. I want to see the pyramids of Egypt. And maybe China. I've never been to China. So yeah, that's about it. Travel more.
So your dream house?
I stay in one. That's my dream house.
Your second choice of career?
First HR, second HR, third HR.
At last, one line that defines you.
Happy and inspiring.
Thank you very much for the lovely conversation, for the time and the experiences which you have shared on our show. Thank you very much.
I should be thanking you, Gaurav. I mean, you've taken me through my entire life journey. Nothing has been as beautiful as this, really going down the memory lane, talking about all the things that I love doing in life. Thank you so much. And lots and lots of best wishes to you and the team of Amazing Mentor for the wonderful work you guys are doing. And we'll stay in touch for many more such conversations.
Of course. Thank you very much.